Thanks for tuning in, guys, for another Rocket Punch Army review of the Transformers Combiner Wars Protectobot Hotspot. Since I don't have a soft spot for Hotspot, since I didn't have these as a kid, I don't really have any attachment. So before today, Hotspot was just basically a reference to my crotch area. But not anymore since I have this toy. So as you saw the box in the back, it's got the robot mode and alternate mode, and you can form Defensor. Alright, so we get the usual, we got the actual figure itself, we got this weapon here that actually separates into two smaller weapons. We have the little card here, which is a little plastic sleeve attached with two rolls of tape here, and we have the instruction booklet. First thing that annoyed me right out of the box is just trying to get this guy to stand. He's got really weird knees here, and that's not really that big of a deal, but if we put him this way, you'll see his legs are really close together. I don't like that. If you put them wide, they're a little too wide, so it kind of forces you to have to twist the legs out, bring them forward, and have that constant kind of crouching look to it. And at that point, the knees don't really want to hold him up. I can't find the way to lock the bottom here. Luckily, he does have this gigantic thing in the back to kind of hold him in place, but it's just poorly done. And while I was messing around with this in the back here, I noticed that these plastic bits, the black bits, tab into the side here. You'll see how much they flex. There's a lot of flex here. Now the tabs aren't as tight as they were, but it's just way too much flex here. I know these toys are made in Vietnam. I'm starting to wonder if they're made out of leftover Nike shoes. So freaking rubbery. So I don't want to start punching this guy in the nuts just yet. We'll put the weapons on right here, guys. Alright. He actually is a really good looking figure. It's got a nice blue plastic. The paint apps are really nicely done. There's some tampo printing here on the side. It's got the usual cheap dollar store wheels here, but they actually do spin nice. And you can see back here, they're not pinned in, they're tabbed in, which is why I call them the dollar store wheels. Alright, so as far as articulation, we have the head here, which is on a ball joint. It does look around and about. The head, it's very similar to Optimus Prime, just a little bit of a different color. Got the shoulders here that go up this way, which is nice. They also turn this way with a nice ratchet. Listen to that. Love ratchets. You got the bottom portion here of the shoulder that goes in and out. You also have a bicep swivel. His gun's in the way. You also have this elbow here. So there's a lot of movement right here in this arm, which is really, really cool. The hands are just molded right into the forearm, as is the case with a lot of these Combiner Wars, and I'm sorry about my phone making noise. And here is the ratchets on the hip. Also, the hips go out that way. You also get a thigh swivel here. And the knees, which I was complaining about before, a little quirky here. I mean, they do the job, but I just wish there was something to lock them in right here, just so they don't fiddle about this way, which is a little bit on the annoying side. As far as the feet, they don't move. They are kind of designed to have a tad bit of an angle, as you can see here, for him to stand with. I did say his face sculpt reminded me a bit of Optimus Prime. You can see why. He's got the antennas on the side here. He's got the face mask here, and then that little thing in the center, that little crest, and then the eyes. But the eyes on this guy are nice and red. Look at that. For an Autobot, they are nice and evil red. I just wish there was like extra ratchets here on the hip, just so they're not so too close together or too far out. And I don't like figures that rely on other things to balance out, like, you know, like that with this big thing in the back. I gotta show you guys something. I love the way Hasbro photographs their stuff to hide that freaking big ass thing in the back. So you don't pick this box up and say, oh, it's got too much kibble. They don't even give you a chance to find that out unless you've already watched other reviews, like this one. And I can't imagine why Hasbro would want to make this so rubbery. I don't know if it's a safety thing so people don't gouge their eyes out, or some kid is actually out there trying to stick this up their butt. I don't really see the reason for that. The blue plastics on this, however, are nice. They're nice and hard plastics, nothing really flexy. So next thing we're going to do is transform this guy. We just got to get his legs this way, and then Here's vehicle mode. It's actually not too bad. With pictures and other reviews that I saw, I didn't think I'd really be into it. Now that it's in vehicle mode, it's not so bad. It's obviously the robot just stretched out, but somehow this vehicle works for me. This guy's ready for any freaking fire rescue. He's got hoses up front here. He's got these guns which act as hoses also. I just don't think I've ever seen a fire rescue truck in this color. But then again, I've only been in New York and New Jersey my whole life, so who knows. The one thing is kind of weird. This gun doesn't really want to stay in the center here, and if it does stay there, it ends up popping back up or down. I don't know what the deal is with that, but this one does stay nice and straight. The wheels roll, except I notice this one, you kind of have to push down on it. It's almost like it's not aligned right somewhere, but it seems like it is. It doesn't really roll, but all the other ones do roll. Now it does have this ladder section here, which has a couple of ratchets here, and then the top of the ladder thing here, this does move and pivot this way because that's where a little guy would stand. All right, so normally a little guy would just walk right up here, just like that. Doo, 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 doo. That's right, there's a big fat head waiting for you at the top of the ladder. Now, it does have a third mode, which we'll get into in just a second, but I had to show you guys these two together. It's having these in hand that you really notice the plastic quality difference compared to an older figure from a couple years back, and then the newer figures that they give us now. So anyway, let's get this guy into his final form. Now, combiner mode is actually really nice. The only thing that's going to suck is I don't have all the Protectobots to make the Fensor. So I'm going to have to fake it a little bit like I did with Galvatronus. Contrary to popular belief, I do not have tons of money to buy Transformers. A lot of it gets spent on die-cast robots, so that's why I'm very a little behind, actually, in getting Transformers stuff. But when I do, I get them at bbts.com. There's a link in the description below if you want to get these guys. But here he is. In combined form, not really the robot that I want to show you guys, but I will get the figures eventually. And I'm sure you guys already know what it looks like from watching other reviewers, but yeah, that's it, guys. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you want to super support the channel, there's a thing up here you can press. And again, if you want to get any of these or tons of other cool stuff, you can head on over to bbts.com, Big Bad Toy Store, using the link in the description below. Until next time, bye-bye.